Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're embarking on a really fascinating exploration. We're heading right into the heart of Pakistan's Punjab region. And we're zeroing in on a city that, well, it seems to hold two really powerful identities. Faisalabad.
Right. Formerly Lyallpur.
Exactly, Lyallpur. And now often called, quite powerfully, the Manchester of Pakistan.
Yeah, that's the industrial tag.
But, our sources, they kind of challenge us to look beyond just that industrial mic. They talk about uncovering how a place known for hard work can also have this profound sweetness
Yeah.
and incredible hospitality.
That's absolutely right. And this deep dive, it's really all about pulling out the most compelling stuff from the unique sources you've provided us with. We're aiming to uncover how all these different facets of, the industry, the city design, its culture, even the food, how they don't just sit side by side, but actually sort of weave together to create this really dynamic and honestly quite surprising urban identity.
Okay, so let's try and unpack that central paradox then. Because when you first think Faisalabad, yeah, that reputation, textile powerhouse, Manchester, Pakistan,
Yeah.
it really jumps out.
It does. It's prominent.
But then the sources immediately kind of pivot. They draw our attention to the city's core, the Ghanta Ghar, the clock tower.
Built back in 1905, British Raj era.
And it's not just like an old building, is it? The sources frame it as almost a masterclass in colonial urban planning.
Spot on.
What really struck me reading through this was its design, this precise radial layout, 8 bazaars spreading out from the center.
Like the Union Jack.
Exactly. It's reminiscent of the Union Jack. So what was the thinking there? Was it just aesthetics or something more strategic?
Oh, it was definitely more than just aesthetics. It's a really remarkable example of purpose-driven design. The sources, they really detail how this radial pattern wasn't just some British architectural whim. No, it was a highly strategic model, really optimized for, well, market access and also for internal security.
Okay, security too. Interesting.
Yeah. Each of those 8 bazaars, Chinio Bazaar, Kachri Bazaar, and the others, they were specifically designed to funnel commerce really efficiently towards and away from that central clock tower, creating this vibrant, but importantly, quite controlled commercial hub.
Right. Controlled.
This kind of blueprint you see in other colonial cities too was really about managing the flow of people, managing trade. Basically, it laid the groundwork for Faisalabad's commercial strength right from the very beginning.
That's fascinating. That blend of historical planning, but with this very clear commercial foresight. But then how does a city built so sort of strategically for industry also manage to nurture such a rich cultural and historical side? Because the sources definitely reveal layers beyond just the busy markets. What did you find particularly striking about Faisalabad's, let's say, cultural heartbeat?
Well, yeah, beyond the pulse of Ghanta Ghar, the sources do highlight these institutions that are really dedicated to preserving the city's deeper story. The Lyallpur Museum, for example, it's not presented as just a dusty collection of things. It's framed as this vital custodian looking after the stories of old Punjab, specifically showing, how agriculture evolved in the region, the daily life of its people, and apparently through some quite distinct, well-preserved exhibits.
Okay.
And then for a bit of a contrast, you've got the Gatwala Wildlife Park.
Oh, yes, the dog park.
Which offers, not just recreation boating, seeing animals like crocodiles, I think it mentioned.
Crocodiles, yeah.
But also this kind of unexpected peace and quiet with its bamboo forest. It suggests a conscious effort, maybe, to balance all that urban development with some nature, providing those crucial green spaces for the people living there.
So you've got this historically planned core, efforts at cultural preservation. It definitely feels like Faisalabad is balancing its past and present. But what about where it's heading? The future. Our sources put a really strong emphasis on the role of its educational institutions, especially the University of Agriculture of Faisalabad, UAF. What key insights came up about its impact?
Yeah, this brings up a really important point, doesn't it, about how these foundational institutions can shape not just a city, but maybe even a whole nation's identity. For listeners who follow agricultural development, especially in Asia, our sources really shed light on this. UAF, established way back 1906, so over a century ago, It wasn't just a top university in the rankings.
Hmm.
It really emerged as a central player in driving specific agricultural breakthroughs, like developing cotton strains that were drought-resistant, enhancing crop yields through genuinely innovative research.
That's significant stuff.
Absolutely. And this work, it wasn't just about educating students in classrooms. It directly fed into transforming Pakistan's food security situation and even influenced agricultural policies across the wider region. It really shows a long-term strategic investment in innovation.
That really is impactful. You can see the connection from the past right through to, well, future resilience in agriculture. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about a more maybe sensory aspect of Faisalabad's identity, one that probably contributes a lot to that sweetness we mentioned earlier, the food scene.
Ah, yes.
Our sources paint a really vivid picture here, a city deeply connected to its food traditions. What makes the food stand out, and how does it tie into the city's character?
The material we looked at paints, yeah, a really vivid picture of Faisalabad's food. It's not just about eating. It's like a cornerstone of the social fabric there. The sources kept highlighting certain iconic experiences.
Like what?
Well, the refreshing lassi, that traditional yogurt drink, especially near the clock tower, and the crispy, tangy gul gappe, that popular street snack over at D Ground.
Gul gappe.
And the savory samosas, the fried pastry near Iqbal Stadium. What really came through consistently from the readings was that these aren't just menu items. They're integral to how people gather, to the city's hospitality, to the actual rhythm of daily life there.
Okay.
And there was that line, something like, once you've tasted them, you won't forget them.
Yeah, I remember that.
It really emphasizes how food becomes almost synonymous with a place's unique warmth, its welcoming spirit.
So when we bring all these threads together,
Mm-hmm.
what does it all mean? Faisalabad really does emerge as this genuinely multifaceted city.
Mm-hmm.
A place where you can, as the sources suggest, distinctly hear the sound of hard work,
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
see the color of its rich heritage,
The culture, the history.
and taste every flavor of life.
Yeah.
Our sources consistently seem to suggest that going there is more than just tourism.
Yeah.
It's like an invitation to connect, to actually become part of its story somehow.
And I think that's largely down to the people of Faisalabad. They're consistently described in these sources as just epitomizing this unique hospitality. It's not just about hosting. They seem to genuinely make you feel like you belong, like you're, one of them.
Right.
It just reinforces that idea that a visit isn't only about seeing the sights. It's about engaging in this deeper, more personal human connection, something rooted in their cultural values.
Yeah. So as we reflect on Faisalabad's really remarkable journey, from Lyallpur to the Manchester, Pakistan, it kind of makes you think. We're compelled to consider not just how a city's past shapes its present identity, but maybe what deeper currents, socioeconomic, cultural, are truly captured in those nicknames, those enduring labels that seem to resonate with its unique character.
Yeah.
What do those kinds of monikers, what do they really tell us about a city's soul, its enduring essence?